Willie P, take it away.
Good morning, Dean. How are you?
Good morning, Willie. I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
No complaints here. What can you tell us about how you guys came out of the match availability wise for Wednesday and going into Saturday?
Availability wise, everybody who was in that squad has come through that squad okay. We had three players play last night for Legacy. So Bill Taloma played, Jay Pedro played, and Jamie Patterson played. So they won't be training today. They'll be doing a regen. Other than that, Niko Pekovic suffered a knee injury in training last week, so he's out for a few weeks.
What was the thought behind not bringing Jamie Wednesday and playing him Thursday with Legacy?
The thought was I watched his 20 minutes when he came on at Montreal and he looked a little bit off the pace. He looked like he needed match minutes. So I wanted to give him the match minutes to get him up to pace.
Did you get everything you were hoping for? I mean, obviously you wanted the result, but did you get what you wanted out of the change in the starting 11 going into the game?
Um, no, we didn't have as much creativity as I would have liked. It was always going to be tough for Patrick. I think he's had a couple of weeks off after, the toe injury. Probably didn't make the impact I hoped he would. He caused some big problems in the home game. We never quite put enough balls in behind for him to run onto. Yeah, so and again, it was a pretty even game again. I think they've had the header first half and the shot that's dropped from the corner that was straight at Callie. We've had the header from Kerwin, from Tim, and the shot from the edge of the box from Patrick. The turning point again is usually the first goal with us, and so it happened again on the Wednesday evening.
Do you feel like with the additions and all the change you've had in the squad that maybe there's been a disruption in chemistry and that has led to some of the inconsistency?
No, not really. Because I look at the team before. Yeah, we finished the MLS campaign okay. We had three away games: Cincy, Columbus, and Austin, and I thought we performed well in all three of them. And then we went into a Leagues Cup campaign that never really started. Poor games. It was poor matches against Philly and Cruz Azul, and then there's the break, and then you come back. And I don't think any team that we've played, and ourselves included, have looked fluent. Whether that is the case, what happens in the MLS, I don't know because I've not experienced it before. But I think there's a lot of teams that are looking for a little bit of rhythm and fluency at the moment, and we're one of them.
In terms of moving Pep to the wing, I know you were trying to maybe look at something different from him. You mentioned that the creativity wasn't there. Do you feel like moving him out of that 10 role maybe lost you a little bit of creativity?
No, I don't think so because the thinking was right. Why we wanted to try and do it. We wanted to try and get Pep in the pockets. We got on the ball in the first minute, and that's where the Kerwin's chance come from. He came into the pocket. Nathan Byrne went on the outside, got a good ball in. The fact that we never got the ball into them quick enough was the biggest problem, rather than where they were playing.
It's been a while since you've played New England. What do you know about New England?
Only from what I've seen really on video. Have they changed too much from when we last played them? Not really. There's a few personnel changes like there is with our team. But it's going to be a similar structure, a similar style to what they played last time. I don't think the conditions will be as bad as it was last time, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Cheers, Will.
All right, let's go to Steve.
Hi, Dean. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Is this still a need to win game, not a must win game?
I think they all need to win games because we're at that
yeah.
stage of the season. There's no must win games at the moment, but it's certainly a need to win just to get us out of this run that we've been in since we've come back. We've not been anywhere near fruitful enough. Defensively, we've been okay, apart from some silly mistakes for goals. We saw that with the first goal, on against Montreal and today. And Wednesday. and they're game changers at times for ourselves. You know, and we have to shift that mentality.
So more than the actual points, it's about the psyche of the team.
Yeah, and it always is. You know, it's always about the performance levels. That's what gets you the results. You know, and we've got players who, you know, obviously Pep Biel's coming. He's new to us, Tim, but Tim's come in as well. But Tim's been with us a while now. I think the chemistry's there with Tim, and Tim's done okay for us. He's been pretty steady. I can't put him at fault for any of the goals that we've conceded. He scored himself. He looks a threat from set pieces. He probably had our best chance again on Wednesday. So, you know, because I have seen, you know, talk about, you know, oh, Tim's come in, it's upset the rhythm. You know, the rhythm wasn't really there during that Leagues Cup break as well.
And how would you describe, what's the biggest difference between the success of the defense in the first part of the season and where it stands right now? Is it just, I mean, there's been bad fortune with deflections and some things like that, some missed markings, things. How would you describe it?
On the whole, I don't think we give too much away. I think we've always, one of our mantras has been to be hard to beat. You know, I still think we're hard to play against. But if you give the manner of the goals away that we did on Wednesday, you won't be too hard to beat because they were two, you know, pretty simple goals to defend. You know, he's vacated the back post when he knows that he shouldn't. Ashley Westwood's got involved with something that he shouldn't have done, and then the lads ran off the back of him and crossed for the goal. You know, simple communication of nobody challenging Muriel, I think it was, for the goal kick. And their lad then wins a race against us. So there's some simple fixes to goals that we've given up over the last few weeks. And, you know, I don't expect that to continue, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that first goal from Orlando is pretty much their classic goal. Junior Urso scored a goal like that on the back post against Charlotte before he came over here a couple of years ago. And when you're not scoring goals, you can't, you know,
Concede them like that.
Yeah, you can't get past over those mistakes. So
yeah, and they're big mistakes that we don't usually make. So you know that is an easy fix.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
All right, we'll go Carol, and then we'll end with Danny.
Morning, Dean.
Good morning.
Does it seem like you've been talking to us all week long?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because you have.
I know.
I know some of the moves you made with the lineup. You know, you're looking at matchups in Patrick's history against Orlando. On the flip side, are you looking for reactions from some of the guys, Swiderski, Abada, that you didn't play? And, you know, were there conversations you had with them, letting them know they weren't in the lineup?
Yeah, the conversations were, listen, we need more from you because they haven't played well the last few games. You know, they haven't played to what we know they can because we've known them for a while. You know, Leal came in and hit the ground running, direct, running at people, getting shots away early. You know, you think about his goal against Cincinnati and Atlanta and, you know, told him that he needs to get back to that level again, you know, maybe going away with the Olympics. You know, hasn't helped his rhythm. And then, you know, obviously Carroll's been away with Verona and he's come back and scored a couple of penalties, had a couple of big chances, and I thought played well against Austin in his first game. He's probably searching for something at the moment. And, you know, I just felt it was the right time to take him out of the game. Bit of a risk with Patrick, not training for a couple of weeks, but I thought it was a risk worth taking.
Have you noticed anything about the way they've responded to that so far in the last 24 or 48 hours?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I sat down with the two of them as I always do if I'm leaving people out of the team, and both of them were really good conversations. My expectations from them, their expectations from themselves, where they feel that they are, and yeah, expect a response from them. And you know, I think Leal, when he came on, certainly gave us that response. I think he set up the best chance with Junior's header, and probably should have got a penalty for, you know, with the tackle on him on the touchline as well, on the goal line.
Also curious about Westy's response to the mistake if he acknowledged that in any way or.
Oh, he
I mean,
acknowledged it. Yeah, he knew I was angry with him. Yeah, he said I saw the eye and he said I had to look away. I mean, listen, they're emotional moments in the game. He knew I wasn't happy with him. I'd spoken at halftime about, emotional control and discipline. I felt that they were on the edge just before halftime of losing their emotions, and I thought, Westy got goaded into one, and with his experience, he should have left it.
Okay, thanks, Dean.
Cheers, Carol.
All right, Danny, take us home.
Take us home. Wow.
Country roads.
You said me, Will?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Oh, good. Hey, Dean, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. You?
Doing all right. So you mentioned earlier in this session, you said that the problem was not where players were on the pitch. It was the fact that they were not getting the ball quicker. Why are guys not getting the ball quickly enough? Why does everything take extra touches, and why can this team not flow fluidly on offense?
We're just finding it hard to at the moment. We've got our patterns of play that we know we want to use. We're trying to get people into the pockets, and get turned on the ball. We are having to take a couple of touches too many at times, and that's down to, I think, a little bit of confidence. When you reflect on things, you see what players are doing in training, and then when they're not replicating that in matches, that can only come down to, two things, which is pressure and confidence.
You're a very positive guy. You're very even keel, which I think is a trait of many managers. But it sounds like you've kind of gotten after the guys a little bit after this poor performance. Have you seen a reaction? Have you seen the team reacting differently to you as you've had to step up the intensity of your messages to them?
Well, I think this is where I have to come to play. It's quite easy when you're having decent results and decent performances, because as a team you tick along. It's when it's not quite happening is when I have to come to the fore. That's my role. That's my job. So yeah, they got the message on Wednesday, because I just felt we didn't create enough. And hindsight's always one of them things. If we don't concede that goal in the 52nd minute, then the game plays out totally different, and we all know that. And it could have been a very different performance and different results. But I saw frustrations from the players after conceding that goal, and that was what disappointed me, because we didn't really create too much after that. We probably played a little bit too individualistically.
All right, and finally, it's one thing to have a bad result, obviously, but it's another thing from my fans' perspective and fans I talk to and go to games with, to play boring. What's a reaction that you have to hearing that the team is just boring and it's a chore for us as fans to show up and watch this team play the way they play right now?
Well, that's the first time I've heard you say that, to be honest. So I haven't heard it. That's the first time I've heard it. Listen, that's one thing we don't want to be, that's for sure. We want to be an aggressive attacking team. You need the players to be performing well to do that. But we also need to be hard to beat. We need to know where we're at as a team. When I first came in here, I told you right from the start that we needed to be a mid-block team. We haven't got the players that are going to go and open people up. Probably still are that at the moment. We need space to run into. We need grass to run into. But we need to be solid and hard to beat first and foremost.
Well, hopefully it's the first time and the last time that you hear it. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, mate.
All right. Thank you, guys. We will see you at the match tomorrow.